Mom said it casually, the way she always did, her fork covered midair, her smile tight, her eyes sliding toward my sister like she was showing off a prize. Your sister's baby will be perfect, she said. So healthy, so beautiful. When's your turn? The table fell silent. My sister smiled, one hand on her stomach, already soaking up the attention. Dad nodded as if this were a settled plan. Everyone leaned in, waiting. I felt that familiar pressure squeeze my chest, years of comments piling up. Too quiet, too sensitive, too late, always behind. I took a sip of water and set the glass down. It already happened, I said. Mom's smile froze. What? It already happened, I repeated. Calm and steady, my sister laughed, nervous. Is this a joke? No. Dad frowned. What are you talking about? I looked at them, the same people who never came to my appointments, who changed the subject whenever I said I wasn't okay, who decided my timeline without asking. I was pregnant, I said, last year. The silence wasn't shock or concern. It felt like inconvenience. Mom lowered her voice. Why didn't you tell us? I almost laughed. Almost, because every time I spoke, you told me I was overreacting. She waved it off. Well, why didn't it work out? There it was, no gentleness. I swallowed. I lost the baby. My sister's eyes widened. Oh my God, Mom sighed, actually sighed. Well, these things happen. Something in me snapped, quietly and completely. You asked when my turn was, I said. That was my turn. Dad cleared his throat. Why bring this up now? Because you brought it up, I said. Because you keep measuring worth by milestones and pretending nothing matters. Unless it fits your picture. Mom leaned back. You should have moved on by now. That was the moment, not the loss. Not the hospital room, not the months of silence. I stood up. You don't get to decide how long grief lasts. Sit down, Mom said. No. I grabbed my bag. My hands were steady. My voice didn't shake. You want perfection, I said. You never want the truth. As I headed for the door, Mom said the thing that stopped me cold. You're being dramatic, like always. I turned back. No. I said softly. I was invisible. And I'm done being quiet about it. I left before anyone could answer. I didn't know it yet. But that dinner was the start of everything coming undone. I didn't go home after that dinner. I drove until the city lights faded and the road opened up, the kind of empty stretch where your thoughts finally tell the truth. My phone buzzed once, then again. Mom, Dad, I ignored both. They didn't want a conversation. They wanted control back. I pulled into a quiet parking lot and sat there, hands on the wheel, breathing. I thought about the months they never saw, the appointments I went to alone, the ultrasound photo folded in my wallet because I didn't know where else to keep it. The night I sat on the bathroom floor bleeding and told myself not to panic, because no one would come anyway. I had told one person, just one, Maya, my coworker. Not dramatic, close, just steady, the kind of person who listens without interrupting. When I called her that night, she didn't say, everything happens for a reason. She said, I'm on my way. She sat with me in the hospital room while I stared at the ceiling. She brought soup afterward. She didn't disappear when things got quiet and uncomfortable. My family did. The next morning, Mom left a voicemail. You embarrassed your sister, she said. That wasn't the time or place to make it about you. I listened twice, not because I had to, but because I wanted to hear it clearly. Dad texted, we should talk. You owe your mother an apology. I didn't reply. I went to work. Around noon, my sister called. I almost let it ring. Almost. What was that? She snapped, skipping any greeting. Why would you say that at dinner? Because Mom asked. You could have just said you weren't ready, she shot back. Now, everyone's acting weird around me. I closed my eyes. You're mad because the attention left you for 1 minute. That's not fair. Neither was pretending my life didn't exist. She lowered her voice. Mom didn't mean anything by it. She meant exactly what she said. A pause. So what do you want? Sympathy? No, I said. I want respect. I want silence instead of pressure, she scoffed. You always make things heavy. Heavy like grief was clutter. Don't call me again, I said. Not about this. Not about the baby. Not about Mom. I'm done. I hung up. That night, my parents showed up at my apartment. I didn't open the door. Mom knocked harder. We know you're in there. I'm not doing this, I said through the door. Dad tried to sound calm. We just want to understand, I laughed, not kindly. You had a year. Mom's voice sharpened. You're tearing this family apart. No, I said. I stopped holding it together for you. She went quiet, then softer. You should have told us. I rested my forehead against the door. You should have noticed. There was no reply, just the sound of them leaving. Over the next few weeks, the story shifted quietly, dangerously. An aunt texted to ask if I was okay mentally. A cousin hinted I'd been unstable. Someone said Mom was worried I was spiraling. They weren't worried about me. They were worried about the narrative. So I did the one thing they never expected. I told the truth, not loudly, not online, just clearly. I talked to my aunt, my cousin, my grandmother. I told them exactly what happened, no tears, no exaggeration. The pregnancy, the loss, the silence, the dinner, people didn't react the way my parents hoped. They didn't see drama, they saw neglect. Grandma called me herself. Her voice was sharp. Why wasn't I told? I didn't think anyone wanted to know, I said. She was quiet for a long moment. That ends now. The family group chat changed overnight, less judgment, more awkward politeness, fewer messages from mom. Then dad called. We need to clear the air, he said. Your mother is very upset. I answered calmly. This isn't about her feelings anymore. Silence. You don't get to rewrite my grief to make yourselves comfortable. I said. If you want me in your life, it happens on different terms. What terms? He asked. Respect. I said, and honesty. Or nothing. He didn't answer right away. That's when I realized they were losing control. They thought I'd fold, that I'd come back once the silence hurt enough. Instead, I moved forward. I stopped going to dinners. I stopped explaining myself. When mom sent a long message about family unity, I replied with one sentence, I'm choosing peace. Weeks passed and the pressure turned into panic. Grandma invited everyone to her house. I almost didn't go. I went anyway. She didn't raise her voice, she didn't need to. I know everything now, she said, looking straight at my parents, and I'm ashamed of how you treated your daughter. Mom tried to speak. Grandma lifted her hand. You don't get to demand grandchildren and disappear when pain shows up. The room went still. She turned to me. You're not broken, she said. You were ignored. I didn't cry. I breathed. For the first time, my family saw the truth and they couldn't unsee it.